The drink that built an empire. You are going to listen to two parts of a program about the history of tea. After each part, there will be a pause to give you time to answer the questions that follow each part. Answer the questions either by writing a few words or by marking the best alternative, A, B, C, or D, in the boxes. You will hear the program twice, the second time without any pauses. You can make notes in the margin while listening. At the end, you will have 1 minute to check all the answers. First, take a look at questions 1 to 7. Do that now, please. Listen, please.
By the mid-19th century, Britain was an almost unchallenged empire. It controlled about a fifth of the world's surface, and yet its Achilles heel, its weakness, had everything to do with tea. The British public loved tea, and by 1800 it was far and away the most popular drink in the country. The problem was that all the tea produced in the world came from China, and Britain couldn't control the quality or the price. So around 1850, a group of British businessmen set out to create a tea industry in a place they did control, India.
The task required a plant hunter, a gardener, a thief, a spy. The man Britain needed was named Robert Fortune.
That's Sarah Rose reading the story of how Britain sent an agent to China to steal its tea and end that country's dominance of the tea trade. Sarah Rose is at NPR's New York studio. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Guy, for having me.
Tell us who Robert Fortune was.
Robert Fortune was a botanist, a horticulturalist, at a time when botany and the natural sciences were on the ascent in Britain. A great deal of them had university educations and were trained as doctors. Robert Fortune was Scottish, but grew up quite poor, and so he kind of worked his way through the ranks of professional botany, learning with hands-on training instead of book training.
Now, please answer questions 1 to 7. Listen, please.
And by the time he reaches his early 30s, he goes on a trip to China. This is around 1845. It's a 2-year trip, just in search of plants.
He was attacked by pirates. He was attacked by bandits. He encountered all kinds of disease and storms. And he also goes in Chinese disguise, dressed up as if he were a wealthy Chinese merchant.
And by 1848, he is approached by a representative from the East India Company. At the time, one of the most important, if not the most important, multinational corporation in the world.
The East India Company says to him, "We need you to go back to China and hunt up some tea for us." They wanted really good tea stock from the very best gardens in China. And they also needed experts. They needed the Chinese to go to India to teach the British planters as well as the Indian gardeners.
So Fortune manages to get his seeds to India. And within his lifetime, India actually surpasses China as the world's biggest tea grower. I mean, it's a pretty astonishing turnabout in such a short period of time.
It astonishes me. China has pretty much never really come back from that, certainly not in the Western markets.
Do you regard Robert Fortune as history's greatest corporate thief, or the man we can thank for the tea we drink?
I think he thought of himself as a China expert and a gardener. He didn't see himself as stealing something that didn't belong to him. He thought plants belonged to everybody.
Sarah Rose, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Finally, answer questions 8 to 13.